Hi there and welcome to another of our monthly market update videos. So in this month's video I'm going to review what happened in the market across our region in October, and it's quite an interesting time to be filming this video. Last week we had some changes announced to stamp duty, and then this week we've had the news that the Bank of England have cut interest rates again. So I'll give you my opinion on what impact that might have on the property market for us. So October saw another very busy month for the property market. In fact, it was as busy as any other month we've seen this year. You've heard me in these videos say how buoyant the property market's been throughout the year. And yes, we've not necessarily seen huge price growth in the year. Rightmove actually, their latest house price index states house price growth at 2.6% in the region. Our own data a little bit higher than that, 3% I think over the year. But what we've definitely seen this year is a big increase in buyer activity, and that definitely very much continued through the month of October. According to data we can see through 20EA, we saw sales in October up a whopping 39% on 12 months ago, and year to date sales are running over 20% higher. So a big uplift in sales, but how do we see the market performing in the months ahead? Well, last week we had the autumn budget announcement, and from that we learned that going forward stamp duty costs would increase, particularly for those buying an additional home. Typically that might mean buy-to-let investors, but it also applies to anyone buying an additional home, like a second home or a holiday home. The government advised that the additional stamp duty surcharge would increase from 3% to 5% for those buyers. Now, I must admit that when that news broke last week, I thought that might spell a little bit of trouble for those sales we've got agreed to buy-to-let investors. But so far, it does seem like the landlords have seemingly taken a more long-term view on their investment purchases and taken the additional stamp duty costs on the chin. But for the majority of buyers, it's the lowering of the stamp duty threshold for 250,000 to 125,000 from next April that will affect them and increase their stamp duty costs. And I think what that's going to do is certainly create a rush in the short term of people trying to move before next April to try and avoid paying that extra stamp duty. So if you're one of those people who are thinking you might try and get your move done by next April to avoid paying that extra stamp duty, my advice to you is definitely not to hang around. I'd get your property on the market as soon as you possibly can with a good estate agent. I'd also instruct a good solicitor. I cannot emphasize that strongly enough, because the length of time it is taking now to get a sale through is averaging about 4 to 5 months. So you're already in a race against time to complete your move by next April. So I think estate agents are definitely expecting November and December to be busier than usual, as we see that rush of people trying to get their deals through before next April to save on stamp duty costs. But longer term, I don't think the higher stamp duty costs will have much of an impact on the market. I think buyers will adjust to those extra costs and start to factor them in and budget for them. And I think also with interest rates being lowered again recently to 4.75%, I think this all creates quite a positive outlook for the market. Will I be right? We'll have to see how things pan out, of course. But do keep watching these videos to stay in touch with what's happening in the market. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, we're here 8 to 8, 7 days a week, and we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you move. Thanks for watching.